not today. Cruise is going good. Got some Alice in Chains queued up, some AWOL Nation, some Screwed Up Click, Wall Wall, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Man, doesn't get any better than that. So if you're curious about whether the Holley Retro Bright upgrade is worth it, these are my low beams. Those are my high. The video doesn't do them justice, but man, you can see everything for a long way. Very, very clear. Way better than the old nasty yellow lights. Side note, foot operated high-low dimmer switch is one of the best things ever. I don't understand why we got rid of those, and they definitely need to come back. Those rule, and I love it. You can just pop, 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 pop. Easy peasy. That was terrible. Right here is where my microphone died, and I didn't find that out for many hours later until I just thought to check. I was like, man, I wonder if my audio is working all right. So I'm going to dub over the rest of this until we get back to the part where I switch to my other microphone. So bear with me on this. Sorry about that. So I got rid of the entire software engineering department, the web developers. And I vacuumed out the rat nest that was the size of Rhode Island. And now I'm going to go burn these clothes and pretend that none of that ever happened, because that was absolutely disgusting. Gonna get some fresh clothes, come back later. Nothing like the smell of hantavirus and fresh air in the mornings. Love it. So I got all the rat nests vacuumed out and all the presents they left behind the seat. Ripped out the flooring. So time to move on and get this thing running. So if you watched the last episode, you'll know that the first thing I'm doing today is getting the engine ground replaced, because the old ground was rotten and ripped in two, exposed, and just all around bad. And in doing so, I'm going to take the locked up AC compressor off, take the locked up smog pump off, and also remove the alternator so that I can get down to where the engine is actually grounded. First thing is to undo the electrical clip from the AC compressor and set that up on the intake, where I'll definitely forget what it is in a month and end up cutting it off. Perfect. Now, trying to figure out which socket is the right size. Ford does this awesome thing where they use metric and standard on all of their vehicles. And there's no rhyme or reason. You can have both types on the same part. So that's really fun. Their engineers just said, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anything we want, we can do. So, good job, Ford Engineering. If you watch closely, my left elbow is about to become intimate friends with the top of that radiator. Right now. I don't know how well you can tell from the video, but my elbow hit the top seam of that, and it broke the metal in two. So, felt really good. That was fun. I like that. I would recommend if you can. And you can't see it because it's happening off camera, but we're collecting all the refrigerant in the lines and disposing of it in a proper EPA approved manner. I swear it's there. It's off camera. Don't worry about it. It's good. All right, the AC compressor is removed from its bracket. We've got the hose is disconnected. We've just got one more end that we need to put a little bit of penetrating oil on to get those two to separate, and then the AC system is undone. All right, next up is removing the locked up smog pump and clamping off the hoses that go to it. Below the smog pump is the alternator, and that's a different story. The smog pump came off very easily. Just a couple fittings, couple bolts, easy peasy. Here's where the real fun began. As soon as I put my ratchet on the top bolt for the alternator and it didn't budge at all, I knew this was going to be a fight. So, after many different tries of ratchets and cheater pipes and heat and penetrating oil and you name it, eventually we came up with a different approach. Just take the whole bracket off. Take it off as a unit, and then we would deal with that bolt later. So we finally ended up getting it off, still with the bolt in it. Never understood how it got so seized in there, because we were able to get it to rotate somewhat inside the housing, but it wouldn't budge. Finally came off with putting the bolt in a vise, driving two wedges on either side of it, and hitting it with a 4-pound sledge for hours, basically. And later on in the video, you can hear all the sledge activity going on in the background while I'm working on the spark plugs and plug wires and everything. So right here, I'm just showing where the actual engine ground location is. It's that boss right there next to my index finger. And that is the old engine ground right there that I took off. I ran a new red ground cable because that's all I had, and then did a spark test. You can't see the spark on the video, but it was there. Next up is showing the ignition switch removal and replacement. You know, these stubby wrenches really come in handy, and I love them because they show that it really only takes 3 inches to get the job done. I mean, look, it worked. You can see it just did get the job done. Can't beat that. I will make an in-depth video later on replacing the ignition switch and the ignition system, but for now, since all the original audio is lost, we're just going to do a time lapse. So, I found out the ignition wiring is bad. Got it under the dash. Both wires for the clutch switch were snipped out. Various other wires for the ignition chewed through or cut. Don't know why all these wires are cut. I don't know what people were thinking they were doing. But anyways, I tested, and we do have spark at the coil. So for the next step, since we have spark, the next step from there is fuel. I checked the fuel pump wiring, also bad. So I ran a wire from the battery down to the positive of the fuel pump, and I don't have a switch with me, but I did have a fuse, so I put a fuse in line, and then my switch is going to be just taking the fuse in and out. It's not perfect, but for proof of concept on this engine, it's good. I ran a ground wire too. All right, I'm going to test the fuel pump. So when I put the fuse in this, we should hear the fuel pump kick on. Yeah, buddy. Woo! We've got fuel. Don't know how good it is. Not gonna think about that. but we have fuelage. All right, I'm gonna throw in spark plugs, and then we're gonna go for a drive. Yeah, spark plugs on this truck. They're so fun. Love it. Love it. You filth. Come on, yeah. Yeah, dang it. Okay. You know what? New plan. I'm going to start all of them and then tighten all of them because this is really uncomfortable position. And I can't see to get these bad boys in here. Okay, gapped. Now, what kind of contortionist geometry do you have to do to get back in here? Come on now. Oh, I'm slipping. Just get on in there. Yay, the fun side. At least it's better now that everything's out of the way. You know, that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm not used to stuff working out for me or being easy. That's good. I want to get used to it though, because you get spoiled pretty quick. You know, they say life ain't always easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And I agree with that. Sometimes life is difficult, lemon difficult. Oh, now we get to the fun ones. You know, I thought the driver's side would be worse for going back in, but it's actually not bad. It wasn't bad, I should say. I'm doing the passenger side right now. Man, I need to eat. I need some liquids. My dehy is drated. That's not a word, but run with it. Stay in there. Sure. Get the feeling that I'm gonna send this truck on down the road. Listen, it's a good truck. It's got good bones. It needs wiring. It needs the wiring stripped and made as simple as possible. And I think a carburetor would be real nice on here. Man, I am hungry. Ready for this thing to fire up so I can get some grub and clean up. Still feel gross from cleaning out all that interior. Well, how long are you? What do you have, 9 feet of threads? Actually, I probably don't need the wobbler the hut. Now get on there. Yeah. All right. Those are good. Okay. Oh, jeez. My professional stool, aka a microwave, just slid out from under me almost. Sketchy. All right. Okay, what's next? What do we got? Plug wires. Now I have throttle at least once. My ignition coil, gonna hook him back up right there. Sweet. Excellent. Drop that into the abyss. That actually might be part of the truck now. I don't know that I can get that. Just noticed that my coolant jug that I brought has a huge leak. So I'm going to do that now before it all leaks out. These little kits are awesome. I got mine on Amazon for, I think, a third of the price of what they sell them for at O'Reilly or AutoZone. They're great. Help you burp your coolant system and for filling and really everything. Is this coolant? Sure. This is the jug that has the leak in it, so we're just going to very quickly try to dump you everywhere, I guess. Well, the good news is it's only leaking significantly and on both sides, so that's good. So radiator's bad. Perfect. Okay, well, that's gonna slowly leak all that coolant out. That's perfect. Maybe it'll hang in there a few minutes, who knows. Get on there, you raggedy little. Okay, run you around. Right yonder, back right there to where, I don't know how it's even possible to push that on. All right. I wish I hadn't. Get on there. Wish I hadn't gotten my good brace so gross earlier, because I'd really like to have that on because my arm is killing me. In case you're not aware, I have fractured radius on this end and I have a buckle fracture on this end of my radius. It's great. 6. Get on. Get. There you go. Okay, 1, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, which means 7 should be next. These are the same. 7. All right, Mr. 7. You know, George Costanza always wanted to name a kid 7. I think it's a pretty cool name. If you know me in, real life, you know that I too am a fan of cool kids' names. Okay. I don't believe it, but it's true. Time for the moment of truth. Radiator's still leaking, so that's good. But we got the spark plugs in. Plug wires are all in. We have spark. We tested, we know the fuel pump works, manually. We have fuel. We have some amount of compression, probably. We have a throttle that only works one way. That's cool. Not a big deal. Anyways, I got my key and I got my fuel pump switch. This is a fuse. So I guess I'll go ahead and start circulating fuel. Well, I should put my ground on first. My red ground. All right. She's grounded. Here comes some fuel. Please, I hope. We do have fuel again. And are you gonna start? Dadgummit. Let me take my Nikes. Take my switch out. There we go. Perfect. Starter's not spinning it over very fast. Let's check voltage. I've been using this battery a lot today. Oh no, battery's real good. Do I have a weak starter? Let's see what happens. Ow, that screwdriver. Very hot. Whoo! It's almost like it just had a lot of current flowing through it. Will it spin faster? No, it will not spin faster. Okay, well, I guess we'll take that starter off and clean the face. Although really what I should do is just push start this. It's worth noting here that with all spark plugs removed, the engine did not spin over any faster, which it should very easily, because with the spark plugs out, there is zero compression. So that is a key indicator that we have some major issues going on, either in the bottom end, we have bearings tight or about to go out or rusted, or we have bent push rods or bent valves. I haven't heard any valve train clanking, so I don't think it's that. The ground on the starter is as good as it can be. Let's try it again. See if it's gonna work this time. I'm not even gonna bother with the fuel yet. Well, maybe I will. I'd hate for this to be, ooh, everything's hot. Golly. And everything's in direct sun, 1,000,000 degrees. Here goes. Is the key on? Here goes. Dadgummit. All right, well. So, we're gonna do what I should have done, which is roll start it. We're gonna get that tractor right over there, pull this thing out of here, and get going really fast and just drop it into gear. See what happens. I'm gonna let this thing cool down because it's super hot. Everything's in the sun. I'm gonna clean up some of my tools, clean up some of this area, and then when I have another driver here shortly, we'll do a roll start. All right, update. It is now several hours later. We hooked a chain on this, drug it backwards for a while, tied a tire to the bumper, pushed it with the tractor for a while, and at first it was just, the tires were just dragging, but we got them to spin, and it actually fired and ran. Not very good, but it did run. It was a little hairy though, because I had to, you know, keep the racing door closed with my left arm, use my fractured arm to steer, and try to reverse Ace Ventura, hang out, look out the back, and watch the tractor. So I don't have any video of it, but it did run. Only while I was being pushed with it in gear. As soon as I would push the clutch in, dead, immediately. So we've got some problems. I checked the stick of dip whenever we got back, and it's just a complete milkshake. So we definitely have blown head gaskets, like I thought. And it won't run on its own. The starter motor is either bad, well, both starter motors that I've tried are either bad, or we've got some mechanical issues in the bottom end going on that are keeping it from spinning over fast enough. Because I know we have a perfect bond to ground now between the starter, And the battery, yeah, it's not good. I thought this would be a just a good truck to fix up and use for hauling trailers real quick, but the wiring needs to be replaced, all of it. The radiator is bad, confirmed. I suspected it was bad last time, but it is confirmed bad. And there's some major issues going on with the engine. And the transmission, too, I found out. You cannot shift into third. It is the NP435 manual transmission. And we've got something going on with the gearbox. You can shift into third if you're stationary, not moving at all. But if you're in second, if you're rolling in second, or if you're, being pushed, driving in second, and try to shift into third, not going to happen. So, this truck is going to get passed along to somebody else. I just don't have the time right now between other trucks and bikes and mules and engines, transmissions, and all sorts of stuff that are going on. And I just have a busy life to begin with. So, while we technically succeeded, it doesn't feel very good because you couldn't just drive it on its own. It had to be, it runs when pushed. But it does run. So, sort of a win. But it's time for the next owner now. If you or anybody you know wants it, give me a shout. Otherwise, it's going to Facebook Marketplace or side of the road, or I don't know. It's going to a new owner. It's the long and short of it. So, that's about it for this guy. You won't be seeing another video on it from me. I wish the engine was in better shape because, man, just want to remind you, very nice body. Other than that, pretty bad. It needs a full wiring harness, so. Which is definitely doable. I just don't have time for it. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Thanks for watching. And if you want, this truck could be yours. Ah! Totally planned that. We're gonna go ahead and lock her up. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. See you next time.